Hey, what's going on, guys? Light Butter here. Welcome back to another Division video. Today I want to talk about something that is going to be in 1.7 that I think is being overlooked by the community a little bit. Perhaps not, but I haven't heard too many people talking about the NinjaBike messenger bag remake. Now, the reason this is such a big deal is because this is going to spike so many different builds. It's going to make almost every single hybrid build that's ever been in existence that much better. Now, let me explain to you guys how the new NinjaBike messenger bag works. If you read the talent here, this is the old talent. It's getting reworked to a talent called Wildcard. And what Wildcard is going to do is going to allow you to basically use hybrid builds between gear sets and give you any of the combinations that you have. So essentially think about this as a wild card in, a game of poker, right? For example, if deuces are wild, you can make that into any type of card that you want. That's basically how this works too. You can basically turn your NinjaBike messenger bag into any gear set that you have active. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. So just for the fact of, classified gear being out, and there's two sniper sets in the classified gear, and that is Sentry's Call and Deadeye. So I decided to make this really crappy build. This build isn't very good. I tried tons of different versions of this build, and almost every version that I made was pretty cool and made the build feel a little bit different, made you play a little bit different. So essentially how this works is that I have two Deadeye pieces and I have two Sentry pieces. So what this NinjaBike bag is going to do is it's going to add to all of those gear sets. So we got the Tactician's Authority here because we want the two-piece Tacticians to get the skill haste, because this is a solo build and skill haste is extremely important if you're playing solo. You want to have your skills up as much as possible since you're going to be taking so much heat from NPCs or enemies. Now, this is a PvE build that I put together just for fun. I'm not going to go into details to show you guys this build because, like I said, I don't think it's very good. But it was a fun build to make and definitely fun to use. So essentially what this is going to do is this is going to give me three-piece Deadeye. So if you go in, it'll show you, you got Deadeye gloves, you got Deadeye holster, and then you have the NinjaBike messenger bag. So it's basically equipping 3 Deadeye instead of 2. So this is going to give me initial bullet stability and marksman rifle critical hit damage. And then the 2-piece Sentry is going to give me accuracy and headshot damage, which both of those stats are very important for sniper builds. And what the 1-piece Tactician is going to do is with the NinjaBike messenger bag, we are going to get 15% skill haste. So essentially with these gear sets, this hybrid of a gear set, combination, I should say, we're going to be getting critical hit damage for snipers, we're going to be getting headshot damage, and we're going to be getting 15% skill haste. That's going to allow us to use our skills very often. So essentially my heal and also my pulse are going to be up almost all the time, which means we're going to have tons of crit chance, tons of crit damage. Basically what we're going to do is we are going to one-shot these NPCs throughout this mission. Most likely we're going to be pretty close. So here's what I'm running on my sniper rifle, which is the only weapon that's really viable. The reason the MDR is here is because I had a version before that had 4-piece Sentry. So for example, if I wanted to do 4-piece Sentry, then I would do 3 Sentry, NinjaBike, and then I would probably do like 1 Tactician and maybe even 1 Final Measure. I think that would be a really cool build. So essentially what you would get is you would get 4 Sentry, you would get 2 Tactician, and 2 Final Measure. Now I think that would be extremely strong. So there's so many different combinations of builds that you guys can make with this new NinjaBike messenger bag, and I think it is very, very cool. So that would give us give us 15% skill haste, it would give us 25% exotic damage resilience, and it would also give us 4-piece Sentry, so that maybe because of the skill haste, we want to roll our urban MDR instead of having prepared here. Maybe we want adept, so we have adept, competent, distracted. Adept and competent are 2 talents that work really well when you have a lot of skill haste, and you'll see in my stats here that my skill haste is almost maxed. It's 46 47%, which is pretty strong. So my skills are going to be coming off cooldown in about half the time they normally would, plus the fact that we have a lot of skill power and that we're using for our talents, we're using strike back. You're going to see my skills almost coming up constantly. So this is just a cool little build. We'll just go through and we'll play Lexington while I talk more about the NinjaBike bag. Look at that NinjaBike bag with the Spectrum camo. It looks so amazing. So essentially what we're going to do here is, since we have Disciplined on our sniper, we're pretty much, as we kill somebody, we're going to basically get 100% crit chance. So you can see we're hitting for 700,000, which isn't a huge amount, but you see how the crit chance is 100% after you kill somebody, as long as you don't miss like that. So essentially what this build does is, when you get the sniper critical hit damage, you can see I'm hitting for 813k. Now I'm going to probably hit this guy for even more since I used my booster shot. Look at 913,000. Now if you combo this with, you know, your on the move talent, you can hit crits up around like 1.3 million, around there. What I found is I have two custom M44s, and I've been bouncing between these two M44s so much because I'm trying to figure out why this M44, which has higher headshot damage, as brutal, discipline, competent, is hitting way less than this M44. And I think the idea is because of Destructive. Destructive is unbelievably strong in PvE. So if I were to finalize this build, I would want high amount of headshot damage. I don't even know if I would run brutal here, to be completely honest with you. I think competent, disciplined, and destructive will probably be the best combination if you're doing this PvE build. Destructive almost multiplies your damage on an NPC by around 100 to 150,000 alone, just destructive, because the way it works is on NPCs, destructive is much more powerful because you're not getting any of that percentage basically mitigated like you are in PvP. So for PvP, obviously this wouldn't be a fantastic build. It's not even that great of a build in PvE, but you can see it's pretty fun to hit these large numbers here and kind of just, you know, hit them for, I don't know, whatever, you know, close to 1 million. Now, I also noticed with it comboed with Prepared, you can hit for huge amounts of damage against NPCs, which I think is pretty cool. I would probably use Destructive, Prepared, and then probably not even Brutal. You probably don't even need Brutal. Only 12% headshot damage isn't that much when you consider how much you already have. You're already going to have a huge amount. But you can see we could just boom, headshot these guys. Oh, I missed. God damn it. So you can basically one-shot NPCs, which is super fun. And you're going to have your skills off cooldown almost all the time. You can also use Overdose if you want instead of the booster shot. I'm just using the booster shot to get a little bit of extra damage. And I just wanted to show you guys like how many different cool builds there are going to be with the NinjaBike backpack. I really want to try 3 alpha, 1 final measure, 1 tactician. I think that is going to be a super strong build because essentially you're going to get 4 alpha bridge, you're going to get 2 tactician, and you're going to get 2 final measure. So you're going to have a ton of exotic damage resilience. You're going to have a ton of skill haste. You're most likely going to be able to max your skill haste out if you have it on your chest piece, which you should. You should have skill haste essentially on everything at this point in the game because of how strong it is. And let's see, let's take this guy out here. Ooh, a little laggy. So we hit that guy for 104 mil, or yeah, 100.04. Jesus, 104 mil. Yeah, imagine. So it's just kind of cool. They also, this is on the PTS, obviously 1.7 isn't out yet, but there was some sort of glitch where it made the global modifier headshot sound. I really hope they keep this headshot sound. It is so awesome. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the headshot sound that's supposed to be just for global events, but I think it is such a crunchy and awesome, just gruesome sound it makes when you headshot. NPCs. I just think it's such a cool sound. So anyways, so we're gonna move on here. I'm also running crit damage on most of my attachments, but I do have headshot damage as well. If you were to make some sort of one-shot PvE build like this, like I said, you would really want to get destructive, because it's insane when you get a lot of enemy armor damage, how much that multiplies your damage on sniper rifles. It's actually crazy, because you got to remember that multiplier is going on top of your headshot damage and your crit damage as well. So we're gonna hit that for, look at that, we're gonna one-shot her. Good night. And then essentially you're pretty much getting 100% crit chance with discipline. Obviously if you don't one-shot them like that, so like you see how it's just, I'm just a little bit away from one-shotting them. So what would I want to do? I would just want to tweak my build just a tiny bit to figure out how I could get a little bit more damage. Now if I were really to expand on this build, I probably wouldn't even run 3-piece sentry, because it's really not that good, because you're only getting 10% headshot damage, and the accuracy is I mean, it's good to have, but it's definitely not needed. Whoa, 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 whoa. You laggy bastard. Let's get this guy killed here. Alright, so our next shot's gonna one shot, hopefully. Yeah, it's definitely the snipers, they have lower health. And like I said, if you're also, I sometimes I even forget to use my skills since I have competent on my sniper. I need to be popping my skills like all the time, like even if I don't need a heal, to get that extra damage, but sometimes I even forget. But since your skill power is so high, essentially you're gonna have your, you know, your skill haste is super high. You're gonna have your skills up all the time, so it doesn't really matter if you spam them. You want to kind of spread them out a little bit, because you don't want to overlap the competent. Because even though it says 20%, it's actually not. Alright, I'm gonna throw a, let's see, what do we throw? Let's throw a flashbang. We're gonna throw a flashbang as soon as the guy says, and that's an order, Sergeant. The reason I've played this mission so many times, I'm sure you guys have too, when Barrett's chest piece first came out, I think I must have ran this like 200 times. Alright, there we go. We're gonna throw that. So they're flashed. Throw a nade. A lot of bleeds going on there. So you can see our crit chance is super low. So when we don't get a kill, our crit chance isn't that high. But this is how I consider it, right? If you're using like for PvE, discipline's super good for this build, because essentially it's only going to take about 2 shots to kill an NPC, right? So what that means is you're pretty much getting 50% crit chance, and you can put a lot of your stuff into crit damage, which is why Deadeye was such a problem. The reason Deadeye was so strong was because players could just build crit damage on everything, and to have 100% crit chance just multiplied that damage and made use of every single stat during their build. So yeah, I just can't wait. Maybe leave me a comment in the comment section below, guys. I want to hear your ideas for the NinjaBike bag. There are so many different combinations that are going to be strong. Like I said, that 3-piece alpha bridge is going to be really good. I noticed during this mission now, it's bugged. You have to hit this button twice. I'm not sure. Well, I don't know how 1.7 could change that, but I don't know. I don't understand. But you have to hit that button twice now, which makes no sense. So yeah, essentially, like, there's going to be so many cool different, like, hybrid builds. Like, hybrid builds were never strong. People thought hybrid builds were strong. Now, don't get me wrong, like, you could run, like, the 2 tactician. See, I need to get maybe my firearms up just a tiny bit to be able to one-shot that guy. Hybrid builds now are actually going to be pretty decent, because what used to happen is it wasn't worth giving up things like Vigorous, and I still think giving up Vigorous if you're playing in a group is going to be very hard to do. Obviously, if you're playing solo, it's not a big deal, because you can just, there, I'll show you right now, you just throw, instead of having booster shot on, you throw overheal. Since you're playing solo, that self-heal is going to be huge. There you go, you basically got overheal. Now you don't have the resistance, but if you're playing in a group, it's very important to have Vigorous on. So I think that little bit of extra power of you being able to get an extra 2-piece or an extra 3-piece or whatever it is with your gear sets it's going to make that actually worth building. Whereas before, I think like people would build things like 3 Predator, 3 Banshee and stuff like that, and I can't stress enough how bad that is, because if you wanted to you know, get that 8% damage or whatever it is, I think Predator's 8% assault rifle damage, and then you would get 10% damage out of cover, right? So they would have to be out of cover for you to get that 10% damage from Banshee, and essentially you would do 18% damage out of cover, but you would only do 8% damage if they were in cover. Now, you can make the argument that a lot of people don't use cover in the division, and that's true. Wow, I just got popped randomly. Nades. But the thing is, why do that when you can use a high-end build and use Skull Gloves and have like 16% damage all the time, right? So I think this is going to make hybrid builds a little bit more viable for both PvE and PvP, and I think it's going to be pretty good to see that variety of builds kind of come back. It's gonna, even though there's no new gear sets, it's gonna spike a lot of new builds, which is really good for me, because obviously I make build videos and it's been hard because a lot of the builds have already been done, and there wasn't many options to choose from before. But now with the NinjaBike bag, I think there's gonna be hundreds of combinations, and I can't wait to make some videos on that. So you can see we're kind of just going through here, and we're like doing large amounts of damage to NPCs. But like I said, I can't stress this enough, destructive. If you can get destructive in the 3rd slot on an M44, it's so strong. Fortunately for me, I do have one, and it has brutal, prepared, and destructive on it, which this hits so unbelievably hard. Like, this hits for almost over like 1.2 million when I end up critting. If it's long range, it can hit around 1.4 million. So I, like, you know, destructive multiplies your damage, and obviously prepared too. But let's see if we can get a shot off on Lorraine before she goes up. We might be able to crack her for like 1 mil. 800k. Yeah, it's always good. I notice a lot of people, when they come into this part, they shoot the side guys first. I think it's better just to shoot Lorraine and get a big chunk of damage off on her, since she's sitting completely still. Alright. Now, I think you can hit her again up here. No, she's coming down. Okay. But you can see, like, even though this build isn't the best, I just wanted to like combo Sentry and Deadeye, since they were classified sets and they would have higher stats. But you also got to remember that right now in the PTS, the calibration for classified sets are broken. So you can't even, I can't even like make my gear more fitting to my build. But that'll be something. Oh, Lorraine, you just got wrecked. That'll be something that I do once that gets fixed, and I think it'll make this build, or a different version of this build, even stronger. So let's take the rest of these NPCs out, and this video will be a wrap. There we go. That one shot. And it's so nice to have your skills up constantly. I mean, look at, I just used my heal. Look at my heal coming off cooldown. Uh-oh. No. Okay, we're taking a lot of damage. Who is wrecking me like that? This is an NPC down low, just drilling me. We have pretty low toughness, but I actually had a version of this build where I sacrificed a little bit of like crit damage for health, and I ended up, since, you know, obviously you're getting more stamina now because of the classified pieces having higher base stamina. Oh! That is hilarious! Oh my god, I got wrecked! No way! Dude, what? Do I have to kill Lorraine all over again? I do. Oh my god. She's gonna be outside, though. Dude, they were wrecking me. Well, maybe I want to switch out for some Vital Measure. Alright, let's get that guy there. I'm trying to figure out what killed me. I think it was a grenade. Since we got popped, it kind of screwed us. Boy, these guys hurt, man. All right, we're gonna like two-shot Leray right here. Okay, let's see. We're gonna drink energy. Oh. Dude. All right, she's OP. We took a water. 1 million crits for the win. When you drink a water, it gives you that 20%. She's still talking and she's dead. Ooh, that 1 mil. Oh, I missed it. It sucks when you miss because then discipline's completely useless. But just try not to miss. All right, I'm gonna pop this guy for a large amount. 1.2 mil. Nice, nice. Oh, we could probably figure out a way to even do more damage. I'm thinking that maybe even like 10% enemy armor damage might even be better than 10% headshot damage. So maybe even want to do like what, 2 striker? So it's just there's so many combinations of builds, it's insane. So I just want to share this with you guys. Let me know any you know, ideas you guys have for builds that you may want me to test, especially since hopefully in week 2 the whole striker situation is figured out and fixed so that people aren't spamming a completely broken set and things can actually be tested. And when things actually can be tested, it'll be nice to be able to hop on and try some different hybrid builds and stuff like that. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop the video a like, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.